today's topic of discussion is MAHR. So MAHR requirements in today's society is at an all-time high. So you've got a bunch of women asking for crazy amounts of MAHR. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. And it's just getting ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. So we're going to be discussing some key points in terms of MAHR and how to effectively distinguish between the gold digger type girls and then the women who are actually of value. So first point is transaction. So women who are seeking a beta male provider, they are looking for a guy who's going to be transactional. So this guy here is going to be treated as an ATM machine. So if you've come across a woman, right, and you're a man who's not of value, she's going to treat you as an ATM machine. Yeah. Reason being is because this woman here is looking for an alpha. Do you understand? So all women in society are looking for alpha type men. Do you understand? Now, if she categorizes you as a beta male provider, you're going to just be getting rinsed for your money, resources, time, attention. But the alpha male, the guy who's actually of value, right, he's not going to be getting treated as an ATM machine. She's actually going to be with him because of who he is as a person. Do you understand? Now, I'm going to be discussing that in another video to how to differentiate yourself from the alpha and beta male mindset. So it goes back to the mindset side of it. So in today's society, the families in the communities, they're all prioritizing finances and they're prioritizing getting the man with the most amount of money. So these beta males who are leading with their wallet and they are trying to impress the woman, guess what? That woman there is going to categorize that guy as a beta male provider. The problem is it doesn't link back to what the women are saying. The problem is you got guys in society who are trying to live up to these standards and trying to please these women and trying to get in these women to buy them. Do you understand? You cannot buy a woman. You know, a woman either loves you or she doesn't love you. If she doesn't love you, yeah, she's going to try and rinse as much as she can from you. If she loves you and she sees you as a man of value, right, she's not going to be having a high amount of MAHR requirements for you. She's going to be really reasonable and she's going to actually have it as a set amount, even low amount. Certain times girls ask for a MAHR requirements as low as 500. So I've spoken to certain girls where they're like, oh yeah, I just want, £300 or £500. I remember speaking to this one girl, she was like, oh yeah, I only want like £500. That woman there, she loves me for who I am as a person. Now, unfortunately, we weren't compatible because this woman didn't tick my other requirements. But the fact is, right, she was actually somewhat of value. You understand, guys? Now, these guys here are entertaining these low quality women who are just trying to extract everything they can from him. And then that guy there is still allowing that. How much self-respect does he have for himself? Pretty much little to none. So that leads us to the next point when it comes to value. You as a person, right, if you're providing value to the relationship, yeah, and you're bringing more value to the relationship, why would the woman try and extract as much as she can from you? It doesn't make sense, does it? So the woman needs to try and lock you down and the woman needs to try and get on your program. Yeah. So if you're a man of value, right, and you're seeing value within you, if a woman's coming to you and she's saying, oh yeah, I want like £100,000, I want a G-Wagon, I want all these type of cars, this and that, and she's placing all these barriers, yeah, for you to get married to her, it just shows you that she doesn't see value within you. Do you understand? So those type of women there, you need to look at and be like, okay, what am I doing wrong here? So a lot of the times these guys here, right, as soon as a woman's saying that, she's saying crazy amounts, yeah, you need to check her and tell her, look, who's bringing more value to this relationship? Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm providing all this value and then you're supposed to be trying to lock me down in a relationship. Yeah? If you look at the previous generations, right, the MAHR requirements weren't that high in comparison into today's society. In today's society, the average going rate, I think, is around 5 to 10,000 minimum. You get certain girls, right, who are less than 1,000 or 1,000 to 2,000. So that's like the reasonable amount. And then like £500 certain times. But them type of girls there, they see much more value within you. Do you understand? So value is something which you need to see from within yourself. If you do not see value within yourself and you're expecting the woman to see value within you, guess what? She's not going to respect you. Yeah, you need to come to the table and you need to see that, okay, if this woman here is asking X amount, yeah, you tell her respectfully, I'm not going to be paying that. Yeah. If you do not do that and you're saying, oh yeah, you know, how can I try and come up with the finances to try and pay that? Yeah. For the rest of your marriage, later on down the line, she's going to be treating you as an ATM machine. Yeah. So just know what you're signing up for. Yeah. A lot of these women, they come with all this baggage. They come with all this drama, all this headache. Yeah. And then you're trying to give her money and then that's going to please her for what? 5-10 seconds? You know, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. She's going to buy whatever nonsense, purse, handbags, whatever, car, whatever, you name it. Yeah. And then she's going to come back and give you more headache. Yeah. So understand the value that you're bringing to the table. If you're a man who's excelling in all these different areas of life, yeah, so you're improving mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You've got multiple women, yeah, who want you. This woman here, yeah, as soon as she's saying some craziness, you're just going to disregard her. You're going to say, no, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm going to go and talk to my other girls. You see how quickly she'll change her MAHR requirements. So I've had certain girls, right, they say to me, oh yeah, 10 grand. Yeah, some crazy amount. You're like, oh yeah, 10 grand for MAHR requirement. And then I remember speaking to this one girl, yeah, so I'll give you a lot of the details, yeah. This girl was asking for about 10k MAHR, yeah. She was expecting me to be a hafiz of the Quran, yeah. And then she was also expecting me to have memorized 100 hadith. Yeah. So this girl here, yeah, she's attractive looking. Do you understand? She's got traditional values. We agreed to the fact was that she wanted to be a traditional woman, so she was going to be happy to be a housewife, and she was happy to raise the kids, and then she was happy to even say, oh, you look after my parents as well. She was happy to do all that sort of stuff. She was saying anyway, from her side of it, but then those were her requirements. I said to her, nah, I ain't giving you 10 grand. You must be crazy, yeah? Even though I got more than that, I ain't paying you 10 grand. I ain't paying you even flipping 5k, yeah? So she was like, oh yeah, 2 grand. Yeah, I was like, okay, you know, shit, it's not too bad, innit? Still, anyway, so then even with the hadith part of it, I said to her, I'm gonna memorize more hadith, and then I'm not a hafiz, yeah? So if you're looking for a hafiz, and then you're looking for a guy who's a man of value and guy who excels in all these other areas, go ahead, go and try and find him. You're not gonna be able to get him. So I told her, I was like, those requirements that you've got there in place here, that's gonna be a guy who's gonna be like 30 plus years old. Yeah, easily. So a guy who's doing well financially, a guy who's a hafiz of the Quran, a guy who's memorized 100 hadith, a guy who's looks wise, looks attractive. He is somebody who's got all these things going for himself. This woman here was so delusional. I was about 23 at the time, and she was about 19. Yeah, her dad was from a rich household. Yeah, so she was accustomed to that kind of lifestyle. But she lowered her requirements, MAHR requirements for me because she saw value within me. But I still saw that she was transactional. Do you understand? And then she wasn't budging on the fact is that, oh yeah, I need to have memorized the whole of Quran. And I said to her, look, that right there, you're not going to get that. Yeah. So me and her started having a back and forth, and then I ended up just unsending my messages. She didn't like that. She got a lot upset. And we stopped talking after that. And that's just one example. But going back to it, yeah, you guys need to realize, right? A woman will lower her requirements, MAHR requirements. Do not get discouraged when a woman's saying, oh yeah, you know, I want X amount, okay? You tell her straight, look, I'm not going to pay that, yeah? So if you're able to afford, let's say 1k, or if you're able to afford 2k, or if you're able to afford like £500, or whatever the case is, yeah? There's even hadith about how, I can't remember the exact hadith, but there was a companion of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When he was about to get married, he read the Quran to his woman, and then they ended up getting married. Yeah, so that counted as like MAHR. So I don't remember the exact hadith on it, but there's a hadith about it, so you guys can go research that. So that's how I see it. Do you understand? So a woman's gonna ask for X amount, you just tell her, look, I ain't paying that. That's what I'm gonna be paying. Yeah. She doesn't want to do that. Cool. You move on to another woman. Yeah. Do not be that guy who's trying to negotiate with terrorists. Yeah, that's what they're saying, isn't it? Don't negotiate with them. Yeah. So don't negotiate with these kind of people here. And that leads us to the next point when it comes to materialistic. So you have that conversation where you tell her, look, materialism and money, status, blah, blah, blah. This is not something which you are interested in. You want a woman to marry you for who you are as a person. Yeah. So for your deen and your character, these are the qualities which matter. And these are the qualities which are going to create a loving type relationship. Yeah. You see a bunch of guys, buying their woman and giving them all this nonsense. Yeah. And that relationship, they end up divorcing after a year, 2 years anyway. There's certain people who spend thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands on weddings. They get divorced after a year or two. What does that show you? There's a hadith about it. So the least amount of blessings is given to the ones who are extravagant with their money. Do you understand? So the most blessings is given to the one who spends the least amount on their nikah. Do you understand? Nikah and walima, that's part of their sunnah. Do you understand? So the one with the least amount of expenses, that's what has the most blessings. This is what Prophet Muhammad said. Do you understand? So if people who are following this, they're following the deen side of it and they're following it properly, they're going to look at that hadith and they're going to realize that, okay, we are trying to follow that. So certain couples, right, I've seen in videos, right, they've even given their food out. They're giving food out to people who are homeless, to people who are poor. You see, when they're getting their nikah done, and then after that, once they've gotten their nikah done, then they start giving out food to people they don't have their financial situation in place properly. So these are the type of people who are homeless. You understand? So those type of people there, these couples there, there's lots of blessings in that. Do you understand? So feeding poor people and feeding people who are less fortunate than you. Yeah, it just shows you those type of people, they end up staying together a lot of the times for a lot of years. These other people, transactional, materialistic, money, self-centered, these are people who are not going to be able to provide value to society. So materialism isn't going to benefit oneself, and it doesn't benefit the relationship. Yeah, if your relationship is built on solid deen, character, good morals, respect, what else is there? Self-respect, a bunch of other different things that are related to the deen, you're going to have a solid foundation there. Yeah, people are not doing that. Hence why their foundation is all wobbly. It's broken. And then that leads us to the next point when it comes to external. These people who are asking for crazy amounts of mahr, they are very external based. So they're seeing the dunya and then they're prioritizing dunya over the akhirah. The akhirah is the next life. So external based people are for other external based people. So whenever I see a guy, right, complaining and saying, oh yeah, a woman's asking for X amount, I tell him straight, I'm like to him, you as a guy, right, why are you trying to negotiate and try and entertain these kind of people here? Yeah? She's self-centered, external based. So do not cry and do not try and reason with these type of women here. Yeah? You tell her straight, this is how much I can afford and this is the X amount. Yeah? That woman there, she should be prioritizing your internal qualities. If she sees internal value within you, she's going to fall in love with that. So your personality, your confidence, your development of your character, the experiences and suffering you've been through life, the hardships you've gone through. When you tell that to a woman, right, she falls in love. She knows this guy here has been through a lot of things, yeah? And then that's where the nurturing side of it comes out. When she sees that this guy here, right, is gone through all these experiences and he's come out as a better person. And she's going to want to be with that guy. Do you understand? A woman who isn't that way, you just disregard them. So just to wrap up, mahr, when it comes to transaction, mahr requirements in today's society has predominantly become transactional. Guys and girls in today's society, they're just focused on dunya type stuff, dunya activities, and they are focused on experiences rather than from what the deen is teaching us. The deen is teaching us to give a mahr requirement, which is a reasonable amount, and then that way there, that man and a woman, they can both get married. There's no restrictions there. There's no high barriers there. The next point after that was when it comes to value. You got to see it as how much value is the woman bringing to the how much value is the woman bringing to the table, and how much value are you bringing to the table. If you're bringing a high amount of value to the table, the woman's going to recognize that and see that and say that, I'm not going to try and make his life difficult, and I'm not going to try and put him off by trying to charge him X amount. She's going to be happy to give him the bare minimum, and she just wants to get with him because she sees that guy as of value. She sees that guy as the best man she can get. And the next point after that, when it comes to materialistic, women who are materialistic, women who are self-centered, and women who prioritize just getting as much resources from you, these women here, they're not going to be of value. They are just focused on their makeup, focused on the external, focused on looking good. They don't care about providing value to you. They don't care about having children with you in the future. So the materialistic people are for materialistic. So materialistic men are for materialistic women. So that's their couple, and they can get on with that. So you see these guys on the internet, on social media, they're flexing with all the materialism. Those same beta males are attracting all the materialistic women who are going to suck them dry. So their time is coming. Don't worry about that. So do not think to yourself, and do not get insecure about yourself if you haven't got a Ferrari or Lamborghini or Bugatti or whatever nonsense that's going on the internet. Just know them kind of guys there, they're suffering when it comes to the other relationship side of it. So see that as that's lessons you can learn from them, to realize that those kind of guys there are flexing with that, and they're going to be attracting the women who are of low quality. And then the final point was external, so external based. So these women here who have high amounts of MAHR, they are focused on the external. They're not focused on the actual internal qualities of the man. So a woman like that, she doesn't prioritize DEEN, and she doesn't prioritize who he is as a person. She just cares about external based, so all the external metrics. And them kind of people there, they're left for the streets. You know what the saying is? She belonged to the streets. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.